Hey everybody, Ace Liam here and welcome to this week's episode of MetroMania. For those who aren't aware, if you're new here, MetroMania is an ongoing 16 Pokemon Metronome only double battle tournament to determine the MetroMania champion. And this season is all about starter Pokemon. If you're already a fan of MetroMania, you've already watched the heats so far and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying the series, and of course subscribe so you never miss an episode. This week is Heat 4, we're almost halfway through the heats, but before we get into any battles today, let's have a look at how the brackets stack up. Last week was an incredible showing by Piplup, absolutely dominating Eevee, really not letting Eevee get going at all. Piplup just floored Eevee in a couple of rounds. It was quite a sight to behold. Piplup moves on to quarterfinal 2, and of course today we're going to be finding out its opponent, but Piplup is one step closer to becoming Metromania champion. Who will be the Pokemon that will serve as the next bump in the road for Piplup? That's what we'll find out today. Is it going to be Turtwig or is it going to be Fennekin? Both these Pokemon, I would say, have a pretty equal chance of coming out on top, but we're going to find out right now who's going to be the winner of Heat 4 and go to quarterfinal 2. So here it is, Turtwig versus Fennekin. This is going to be one interesting battle. I know a lot of people seem to think that the type advantage, fire versus grass, is going to give Fennekin the edge, but it could really go either way. I don't honestly think either of these Pokemon have zero chance of winning. I think everybody's got a chance. It's all up to the Metronome in this one. We see Roost is going to fail on the first turn for regular Fennekin. Of course, Fennekin has the speed advantage here, I believe. And there's a Hyper Beam on turn 1 from Shiny Fennekin. That's absolutely incredible. Massive damage to Shiny Turtwig. Of course, it means that Shiny Fennekin can't move next turn, but that's a brilliant showing from the get-go. Guillotine, though, that's even more impressive. From the Shiny Turtwig onto the regular Fennekin, and we are down one Fennekin, and Shiny Fennekin can't move next turn because it needs to recharge from the Metronome. That is an amazing start. Here comes regular Turtwig with a Psycho Boost. Oh my... Mate, this could be over before it's even started. Great amount of damage there, but does get a two-stage special attack drop on the Turtwig that used the move. There's the recharge from the Fennekin. Here comes Turtwig with a Sonic Boom, guaranteed 20 hit points worth of damage, bringing Shiny Fennekin even closer to half its max HP. And here comes Shiny Turtwig with an Ingrain, very, very smart move, going to restore HP gradually as it goes through each turn in this battle, as you see, bringing itself just that little bit further away from half its max HP. So it's been all Turtwig from the get-go so far, aside from that Hyper Beam from Shiny Fennekin, who is now going to go for a Surf. It's not very effective, but will hit both opponents. I'm sure Fennekin would rather use Surf on these two Pokemon than have Surf used on itself. That's for definite. Here comes Shiny Turtwig. What's it got for us here? What's it going to go for? It's going to go for Sharpen. Now, very interesting. So it's going to increase its attack stat. Wants to get some big hits on this Fennekin right here. And here comes its non-shiny counterpart, regular Turtwig. What will it do? Goes for Twister. Not the strongest Dragon-type move out there, but... Oh, it actually did barely anything. I was going to go with the butt, but there's no butts there. And there is the HP being restored by the ingrained roots of Shiny Turtwig. Fennekin needs a miracle right now. What's it going to do? Goes for Stun Spore. Doesn't affect Grass type. Stop using Stun Spore, mate. Here we go with Shiny Turtwig with Fly. Fantastic. So it's going to hide up high. And then once Fennekin moves on the next turn, if it tries to go for that Turtwig, it will miss. Here's regular Turtwig with Reflect, increasing the protection against critical hits for itself and its partner. Now, that's a great choice of moves there. And absorbing nutrients with your roots, even though you're in the air, I'll let that slide. Here comes Shiny Fennekin, and it's going to go for Dive. It's going to hide underwater, going for all the water-type moves today, but it means it will avoid that Fly from the Shiny Turtwig, so that's a fantastic choice of move right there. Here comes regular Turtwig, going to go for Parabolic Charge, but it's not going to hit anybody on the field right there. And of course, the Fly is going to be missed because the Fennekin is currently underwater, so that was a great play by Fennekin right there. Of course, Shiny Turtwig still increasing its HP with the ingrained roots there. Tiny bit of not very effective damage from Shiny Fennekin there onto regular Turtwig. This Fennekin has lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, given that its partner's gone. Another Psycho Boost, though, this time coming from Shiny Turtwig. Holy moly. Down goes its special attack, 2 stages, but Fennekin is in trouble. My goodness. Here comes regular Turtwig. What will it do now? It's going to go for Inferno, which is not going to be very effective, but will it be just enough? Not enough, especially with the special attack drop that it had earlier in the battle. That is lucky for Fennekin, as Shiny Turtwig restores even more hit points. My goodness, it's really not looking good for Fennekin right now. It really does need a miracle here. Goes for Roar of Time. Is that a double-edged sword? Because it's going to do a great deal of damage, massive damage to Shiny Turtwig, but it does mean a recharging turn next turn, which is a very risky play. Fury Swipe's coming out, but it's avoided. Now, there's potentially 3 more moves that can be used on Fennekin before it can move again. What's Shiny Turtwig going to do? Go for Ice Hammer. It's not very effective, but is it enough? It is, and it takes down Fennekin. Round 1 goes to Turtwig. My goodness, that was incredible. As we see the Fennekin back out on the field, and Turtwig to join them. That's absolutely, that Hyper Beam followed by Guillotine, just unbelievably unlucky for the Fennekin team. They got off to such a bad start in the next battle, in the first battle, and Turtwig just absolutely took advantage. We see a power swap coming out from regular Fennekin, switching stat changes on the first turn. Always a great idea. And here comes Shiny Fennekin. What will it do? Is it going to go for another Hyper Beam? No, goes for a super effective Poison Fang. That's the Spirit Fennekin. That's how you do it. Decent amount of damage and the poison as well. Badly poisoned as well. Toxic is in effect right now on this Shiny Turtwig, so its days are very numbered. We see Leaf Tornado coming out, which is going to be stabbed, but not very effective. So only does a little bit of chip damage there to that Shiny Fennekin there. And now it's time for regular Turtwig to follow up. And it's going to go for Muddy Water, which will be super effective on both the Fennekin there, with a chance to lower their accuracy. And it's going to do a decent amount of damage to both Fennekin there, but no accuracy drops. That's very lucky for the Fennekin team right there. What will they do to respond to that Muddy Water? They need to be careful in this one because they've got everything to play for. They need to win 2 battles in a row. Here's a Shadow Sneak from regular Fennekin onto regular Turtwig for a tiny bit of chip damage. Any damage is better than no damage, but Fennekin really needs to pull something out of its bag of tricks right now. We see a Tackle. That's only going to do a little bit of damage there. Now you're giving the opportunity to Turtwig to dish even more punishment out with a Gust coming from regular Turtwig, so not the greatest amount of damage, but again, it's still damage that Fennekin does not want to be taken. And here's Shiny Turtwig with a last resort, but it does fail, unfortunately, so Fennekin is safe this turn, and Turtwig, of course, takes even more poison damage. That's Shiny Turtwig right there. Shiny Fennekin is going to start off proceedings for the next turn. What will it have in mind? Going to go for Foresight. Not the greatest idea there. Bit of a wasted move, but let's see what you do in the future. Let's see what your actual strategy turns out to be. And here comes regular Fennekin. Going to go for Dazzling Gleam. Going to do some special damage to both of these Turtwig right there. And the Shiny Turtwig is looking to retaliate with Anchor Shot. Of course, it's going to be resisted because it's a Steel-type move, but it still did a decent amount of damage and brought that Fennekin down to less than half its max HP. Prevents it from escaping, but that's completely superfluous at this point. It's irrelevant. And we see Cosmic Power coming out from regular Turtwig. Going to raise that defense and special defense. Keep itself safe from anything these Fennekin can dish out, especially any of those fire-type attacks. As we see Shiny Turtwig taking even more damage. I think it's got 1 turn left in it, if that. And if the Fennekin damage it this turn, then this is the turn that it's going to fall. Here we see Fennekin going for Conversion 2, so that Shiny Fennekin is going to change itself into the Steel type. Now that's an interesting play right there. I wonder if it'll affect us later on. Absolutely no idea at this stage. It's too early to tell. And we see Sharpen, Shades of Turtwig in the last round. Regular Fennekin is raising its attack stat. It must have something in mind. What's it going to go for? We will find out. Here comes Shiny Turtwig, though, as its last dying breath. It's going to go for Substitute, and that's going to fail. That's so unfortunate. Here we see regular Turtwig. What's it going to do? It's going to be on its own in a moment. Going to go for Captivate. Now, that's an interesting play right there. It doesn't affect the male regular Fennekin, but the shiny female is going to get a -2 special attack drop. And we see there's the poison. Told you, took down Shiny Turtwig. So now it's 1 Turtwig versus 2 Fennekin. And it's really looking good for Fennekin right now. This is the position they wanted to be in the last battle and couldn't quite get it together. Here we see Psychic coming out from Shiny Fennekin for a tiny little bit of damage there, because that special attack drop does drop the special defense of Turtwig, which was at +1, so that's why that Psychic didn't do much damage at all. Here's Disarming Voice, though, coming out from regular Fennekin. dealing a little bit more damage there than the captivated shiny Fennekin could do. And we see conversion 2 from Turtwig coming out. So it's going to convert into the Steel type itself. There you go. So we have a Steel type Fennekin, a Steel type Turtwig, and a regular Fennekin. Of course, it's still weak to fire either way, that Turtwig now. But here's a Dark Pulse from regular Fennekin onto Turtwig, and Turtwig is just sitting pretty right now at 50 hit points, hoping it's not going to get destroyed. Swallow is going to fail because nothing's been stockpiled, so that gives Turtwig an opportunity to dish out some punishment if it can, or heal itself. Goes for Electro Ball, though. I don't know if that's a wise choice. It doesn't do a lot of damage to Fennekin right there, so Fennekin is still in the driver's seat in this particular round of this Metronome battle. Here comes regular Fennekin with Water Spout. Now, of course, it's not a full HP, so it's not going to do much damage, but does enough to bring Turtwig down into the red, though. What will shiny Fennekin do? Surely it's going to try and take advantage at this point. Going to go for Clanging Scales. That's going to do a decent amount of damage, you would imagine. Of course, it doesn't do a lot of damage because of that special attack drop that it had earlier. Now its defense has dropped as well. Turtwig is in trouble, though. 16 hit points. It's really on its last legs. Goes for Pursuit. Of course, it's going to be not as strong because the opponent isn't switching out. Still a decent amount of damage there onto that shiny Fennekin. I've done that twice today because of that. Oh my god, and here's a self-destruct from regular Fennekin. Now, whoever wins this battle, everyone's knocked out. Whoever wins this battle is determined by the Pokemon that faints last. But because Turtwig is the slowest, that means Turtwig's won. Fennekin has forfeit. I'll even show you on the screen. I'll leave it. There you go. I'll leave it a little bit longer so it shows you that Turtwig won the battle. Turtwig wins. There we go. Turtwig is going through to the quarterfinal because Fennekin just said, screw it. Goodbye. Well done to Turtwig for lasting. That was a pretty dominant victory. Once again, a Sinnoh Pokemon has shown just how good and just how versatile they can be. Although in saying that, I do think we're giving Turtwig a little bit too much credit. I feel like Fennekin just really couldn't get things together. It didn't really formulate much offense compared to what Turtwig was doing. And I don't think that's necessarily a testament to how good Turtwig is. I think it's more of a testament to how badly Fennekin did. And that was just really, really unfortunate for Fennekin. Of course, Turtwig goes on to the quarterfinals where we're going to have a Sinnoh showdown. We're going to have Piplup versus Turtwig. So I already can't wait to see the second quarterfinal. But there's still plenty of places left in the quarterfinals. So we need to find out who's going to be winning the rest of these heats. And that continues next week when Pikachu takes on Snivy. So that's where I'm going to end this episode of MetroMania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel like these wonderful people down here already do, you can pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrinilium. And for live streams 5 days a week, including right now when this video goes live, twitch.tv/AceTrinilium is the place to be. But until next time, I'm Ace Trinilium. Keep on training.